Welcome to First Issues. We have previously discussed issues around financial management that may lead to financial duress and ultimately health issues. One of the conversations was with financial planner at Ashore Wealth, Geseho Munyasela, where we discussed budgeting as one of the financial tools to help manage finances better. Tonight, we go a step further into seeking more solutions. Stay tuned to find out how. Pauline, thank you so much for coming on First Issues and affording us your time. We're talking today about yoga as a means to cope with the different stresses in life. So let us first understand how yoga is more than just stretching, but also a means to cope, like I was saying, with various things in life, but especially stress.
Thank you, Panaseho, and welcome. We're always happy to have you because you help us actually as Art of Living to take the knowledge of yoga to the people. And maybe first let me just correct to say, let us not say yoga is a coping mechanism. Because coping means you are having problems. Yes, whilst it does address that, but let's just look at it from a lifestyle point of view. You take a bath in the morning, not as a coping mechanism, but because you want to keep clean. So if we consider yoga like that, then you'll not even need to use it to cope, because it'll correct a lot of things about us before we need to have to cope. So, for example, when you just look at the simple fact that you use breath a lot in yoga, I know, as you've just said, that the general understanding is that it is stretching. Whilst that is true, it is more than that. It is about your breath, how to fully utilize breath so that you can get the optimum out of it, and as well as stretching, as well as meditation. That threesome, that is what really defines yoga. So when we start paying attention, just for starters, to our breath, just appreciating that breath is more than just, keeping alive. Paying attention, learning the right techniques that we can use to just have a good, happy life. And this helps in a way that, like when it's raining, you use a raincoat so that you don't get wet. But if you get wet, then you'll have to deal with wet clothes and, and even a cold for that matter. So yoga is like that. When you do it regularly, it prevents a lot of unwanted or undesired, whether ailments or behaviors or things like that. So yes, yoga is a lifestyle.
Well, there are a few techniques that are targeted at stress relief in yoga. Do you care to share them with us and why they are so effective?
Yes, definitely. When you look at a baby, when they are born, how they breathe. When they breathe in, the tummy goes out. When they breathe out, the tummy goes in. A baby is the first point of contact with yoga. So we can see that yoga is so natural to us. But because we don't pay attention to these things, we now have to learn them later. So breath, when we pay attention to the fact that natural breathing, when you breathe in, the tummy goes out. When you breathe out, the tummy comes back in. That in yoga we call yogic breath. And then with awareness, you then expand the tummy you expand the chest and even the upper lungs when you breathe in to take in a lot more oxygen. So this essentially we expand the lung capacity, because in breath itself we can detox our system with breath. But if our lung capacity is not fully utilized, like generally we don't fully utilize it, we only use about 30%. So the more we expand our lung capacity, the better we are able to detox. So you'll even detox before you know that you have some toxins in when you do it regularly. And 90% and even more of our toxins are released through breath. So the more we learn the technique, and just the basic one, let's just keep to that basic one of full yogic breath, that even for our viewers right now, if they just practice that consciously, when you breathe in, push out the tummy, expand the chest, and let the breath go up. And then when you breathe out, collapse the shoulders, the chest, and the tummy. And you do that for about 10 breaths. Ideally, maybe just lying down so that you are fully relaxed. Just doing that on its own, you'll feel that full relaxation at a very, very minimal. So, yes, breath is just our gold, really.
Well, for it to actually be effective and help one cope with their everyday life, what are those things that one must consider if they are to successfully embark on this journey of practicing yoga?
I think that's a very good question, because generally people tend to think that, no, I'm not flexible, I cannot do yoga. You really don't need to consider anything. You just do it. Sometimes people say, no, I'm in a situation, I just need to, sort it out. You really don't. It will help you, whatever you are in or you are dealing with, it will help you. So it's really just to bring yourself. And we have different programs that target different levels. We have a program for children, and it would be so ideal to teach yoga in schools. It would be the best, really, because when you get them from that age, you'll find that all these problems that we all cry about our youth, about our young ones, they will drastically reduce. So what we can consider is that have these programs for the little ones. We have programs from 8 years to 12 years, and then from 13 to 18, and then 18 plus is the adult course. So that's really all we need to consider, and that whenever you practice yoga, you do it on an empty stomach. And just like any exercise, you when you eat and then attempt to exercise, then it's a non-starter. Yeah. So that's really all. And then the regularity, it is a discipline. It requires us to set out a program, a daily program. The founder of Art of Living usually say, just like we brush our teeth every day, that is the level of discipline we need to adopt in yoga. Just to say minimum 30 minutes every day, have it in your program. And, about 2-3 weeks ago, in one of our public programs, one participant said, I'm just puzzled as to why we are not teaching this in schools, because it is so good. And if we can address from a young age, then a lot can be addressed and avoided, actually.
This program was brought to you in association with First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?